Welcome to the Silent Trading channel. Today I'll be analyzing the chart on the 19th of January, which is Monday. And I'll start by analyzing the daily time frame. But before you guys watch, please subscribe, like, comment, and share if you like this video to support me in my goal analysis journey, right? Goal analysis trading journey, right? To help me with growing my subscribers, to help me with growing my content, okay? Today I'll start by analyzing the daily time frame first because we always need to watch the daily or what we'll call the higher time frame to check bias, to check price action before we start finding our entry on the lower time frame, right? And as we can see, the daily time frame has opened the first candle in the morning, not in the morning of America, but in the morning of Asia, and then start breaking above, right? Start expanding, right? Triggering sell limits over here, triggering sell limits over here by touching resistance, pushing to touch resistance, and the resistance at all-time high, which means right now the all-time high is not at this point at 4643 because the new all-time high is at 4690.88, correct? So we'll place a new all-time high, 4690.88, right? 4690.88. This is a new all-time high. Alright. Then, as you can see, the daily time frame has expanded or break above, correct, to create a new all-time high, and then start pulling back. But as you can see, we can see the daily time frame that it is pulling back, but we cannot see what it is doing unless we go to the lower time frame and see whether the price is consolidating or the price has already done a pullback and then start pushing up again, correct? So now we'll go over to see in the 4-hour time frame. The 4-hour time frame has shown that price expand and was able to break resistance by closing, right? By having a candle, full body candle close above all resistance over here, which means the 4-hour time frame is in the expansion phase, right? And after expanding and closing above all resistance, which means breaking resistance, the next candle in a 4-hour candle, the next candle start trying to expand further but wasn't able to do so. Because why? Because when price start moving too fast and too hard or start expanding too hard, there will always be people panic buying, right? People panic buying for a few reasoning. Because the first reasoning is those who are panic buying are because they have been drawn down, they are in drawdown from their sell position in the below over here, because they are in a drawdown and in a deep drawdown from their sell position over here. And when price expands too much, to prevent their portfolio from going into liquidation, they need to open or enter a enter a buy position or a buy order to prevent or to lock what? To lock their losing, right? To lock their losing. So they're losing, right? So they need to enter a buy position to lock the losing. For profit, they call it floating profit, right? So for losing, they call it floating loss, right? So they need to lock it into a floating loss, correct? So after locking, using a buy order, the price then pull back, because when price pull back, we know that there are people panic buying, and price try to expand further but wasn't able to expand above previous week high, right? Price wasn't able to expand above previous week high because we know that price action is strong only if the price is going to expand beyond previous week high, right? Previous candle high. Since the price isn't able to expand beyond previous candle high, right, or previous candle week, we know that there are more people on the drawdown from buy position above than sell. So price start to try and reverse, right? At this candle reversing, correct? Pushing down, creating a red candle. And then this red candle wasn't able to close below support. So support isn't broken yet, But we do know that if price if buyers over here isn't going to close their position, they're going to hold on to their position, this is what the market is going to do. Is the market is going to pull back and then drop down. So right, because why is the market dropping down? The market is going to push down or expand downward to clear off buyers from the market. So if the market is going to expand downward, this pullback is going to be a full pullback before pushing down into a red candle and then expanding further down, right? Or we'll call it dumping on the price, right? So if the chart is going to dump on the price right now, it is going to pressure buyers into closing a position above. It is going to pressure buyers into closing their position above, or maybe even pressuring sellers at below to close their position when the price has dropped down, and their loss are lesser, right? Because at first over here their sell position has too much of a loss. So when price start pushing down and their floating loss is lesser, they're gonna have to close their position because the price is gonna pressure them into closing. Alright? So when price goes back to the middle of the consolidation box or the consolidation triangle, we will see price start consolidating back and forth, right? Back and forth, until all orders in this zone are closed. After all orders in this zone are closed, are pressured into closing all their position, no matter the buyers or sellers. After that, can the price start really expanding? Expanding towards its initial trend, or expanding downward to accumulate buyers and then dump buyers again, right? So right now the price has two things to do. It is either to break above, but if it cannot break above, it means that buyers are still strong over here. There are still an accumulation of buyers over here, which means price is either gonna start pushing down, right? Start pushing down. So when price push down and come to the middle of this box over here, the middle of this triangle, which means there are an accumulation of buyers above and an accumulation of sellers below, right? Sellers around this spot, buyers around this spot isn't that important. The important thing is buyers above and sellers below, because this is an accumulation of people panic buying, and this is an accumulation of people panic selling when the price drop down too much or when the price expand below too much. So which means right now the chart, if the chart is going to start pushing down, it means that the market is pressuring both buyers and sellers into closing the position. But if the market start expanding from over here and pushing up, the market is forcing sellers to close or forcing sellers into liquidation. Correct? Because when we trade, I don't say we, I'll say I trade based on price action. Price action, what is price action? Price action means that we wait for the price to give us a confirmation. We wait for the price to give us some insights on the market, right? We don't have insider trading, we don't have insider information, but we need insight into the market by the market showing us price action, no matter buy side price action or sell side price action, or you can either call it a bullish price action or a bearish price action. So when we see the market based on price action, what it is showing us, what the narrative behind each candle movement is, right? And then we calculate where we are going to buy, where we are going to sell, and we calculate based on what we think retail traders are going to do. So if retail traders are going to buy all the support that the price is coming down to, we are not going to start buying at all support there are, because we are only waiting for the opportunities to enter a buy position only after too many buyers are accumulated in the market, right? Because after buyers are accumulated in the market or buy volumes are accumulated, we only then enter our buy position, which means if price is dropping down, right? If price is dropping down, there will be people or retail traders waiting to buy at all support that is at, when price comes up in the lower time frame, it will create all kinds of support, right? So when price start dropping down, all these support are used for retail traders to enter a position, right? Not experienced trader, but retail traders are all going to enter a position on all the support the price is coming down to. So when price start dropping down or expanding downward, we then know that we then know that the price or the market is accumulating buyers, right? And when it has accumulated enough buyers, no matter 9, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 support, which means buyers are all tricked into buying. And after buyers are tricked into buying, there will be a sharp down below or a sharp expansion below. And then after clearing out buyers, will the price start to reverse, correct? Which means we wait for all buyers to be clear off from the market before we start buying. And we wait for all the sellers to be clear off from the market before we start selling. So right now, if you're going to buy, you're going to wait for the price to start moving downward or expanding downward, right? And if the price is expanding below, we wait for a sharp dump in the price. We wait for a sharp dump in the candle, right? Creating a candle wick below, and then we start buying. If you're not buying by placing a buy limit, you then buy by waiting for the market to dump, and then buy by market execution. That is how we're going to enter a position. And at least if the market is not going to reverse from you buying, at least the market will start pushing up to clear off panic sellers, correct? So when market starts to push up to clear off panic sellers, it is where we are going to take profit from a buy position. So the main point is we buy after buyers are pressured into closing the position, and we sell after sellers are pressured into closing their position. So when there are no more buyers when there are no more buyers buying, right? And when there are no more buyers because buyers has been forced to close their position or pressured into closing their position, that is where we're gonna buy. So when price push up, right? Push up, accumulating sellers, accumulating sell position, and when it push up far enough to force sellers into closing the position, it is where we are gonna start selling because sellers has been forced or pressured into closing their position, right? This is what I call a forced closure, because market always pressure either one side into closing the position because the market isn't designed for the majority to win. The market is designed for the 1% to win, right? So if you understand all the psychology behind all traders, or if you understand the psychology behind at least the retail traders, you're not going to be able to lose. Even if you want to lose, you're not going to be able to lose because you understand that retail traders are going to be tricked into buying. You know that retail traders are going to be tricked into selling. So you're not going to be buying and selling and where retail traders are going to be, right? So right now, if price is going to pull back and start pushing down, we know that buyers are going to be tricked into buying, which is what we call accumulating buy volume. And after the price start accumulating buy volume and start clearing, right, a sharp down below is where we are going to buy and wait for the price to either reverse or the price to do a candle pullback and then take a profit, right? This is how we start scalping, correct? We scalp inside this triangle, and when you take profit from your buy position and the price push up to clear off what? Clear off sellers, and then start expanding below again. It is where we wait to buy again and wait for the price to start pushing up, clearing off sellers, and then we start taking our buy profit position, correct? So we always wait for price action. We always wait for confirmation before we start buying. If you're gonna buy, right? If you're gonna buy at the bottom of the trend, at the above of the trend, you're gonna wait for reversals to start and complete, right? A complete reversal is when price push down, push up, correct? And then start pushing down again, but not touching support over here, because touching support means triggering buy limits or accumulating buyers, all right? Accumulating buyers or buy volume, which means accumulating buy volume, which means price is not gonna push up, price is gonna drop down further. So if price push down but not accumulating buy volumes as support over here, this is where we're gonna wait to buy, or at least wait for the price to complete this reversal, right? Because price has created resistance, and after price creating resistance and able to break above and break resistance, and the next candle retracement is where we are gonna buy, correct? And we'll wait for the price to expand up. That is how we are gonna buy or sell. If not, at least wait for a break above or break below before you start buying. That is all I'm gonna say for today. So stay tuned tomorrow's analysis. So see ya.